Welcome back to Cognitive Minds. So, we have already discussed some of the topics, including the fleshy fruit, dry fruit. Next, we come to the last topic of this chapter, which is germination. Now, what do you understand by germination? When a seed has to become transformed into an entirely new plant, the whole process of growth is called as germination. The germination refers to basically the biological process which is associated with growth of seed to the young plant. All right, all the stages. So here you can see a diagram of a germinating seed. Now when a seed is germinating, it is carrying in itself a baby plant. Baby plant is having first of all two components. First one is plumule, another is radicle. P for plumule, P for plant. The plumule will give rise to the plant parts such as stem, leaves, etc. And the radicle, R for radicle, R for root. The radicle part, which is the bottom part of the baby plant, will give rise to the roots. So radicle gives rise to root, and plumule, the upper part of the baby plant, gives rise to the shoot system. Okay, and then we can also observe two cotyledons. You know that cotyledons are the structures which contain food. So two cotyledons, they are for the basically embryonic leaf or the first leaf of the plant. So here two cotyledons are there and they are storing the food. Next we will study about the structure of dicot and monocot seed. So first let us consider a dicot seed. In dicot seed, first of all tell me if this is one passage, if this is another passage, and this is the bridge connecting the two passages. All right, so here we are discussing the parts, the components of this seed structure. Consider that this first passage which I am saying, this blue one, let me change the color. This blue one is the ovary wall. What is it? This is a ovary wall. Okay, this is a ovary wall, and this the purple color portion is your seed. What is it? It is your seed. So the ovary wall and seed are connected with the help of a bridge which is called as the hilum. Okay, so basically hilum is a scratch or the notch, the scratch which develops when the seed is being attached to the ovary wall. So it is, the seed is attached to the ovary wall with the help of a notch or with the help of a scratch kind of structure, which is your hilum. Next, micropyle. Micropyle is basically a small hole-like structure which is present. These structures are very easily observable in case of the rajma beans, which your mother must be using in everyday life. So in rajma bean, you can observe that when your mother is soaking the beans in water just before making the just before cooking. So what happens? There is a hole which is called micropyle through which the water and the oxygen exchange takes place between seed and the external environment. So hilum is the connecting link between the ovary wall and the seed, and the micropyle helps in the exchange of oxygen and water. So now again, talking about the seed coat, in case of dicot, this is structure of dicot, there is double layer. One is the tegmen, which is the inner layer, and the testa is the outer layer. Okay, and rest is cotyledon. Here also, here suppose this is the baby plant. In baby plant you can observe the plumule and the radicle. We have already discussed plumule will develop into plant and radicle will develop into root. All right, so this is structure of monocot. Next we move to monocot seed. Earlier we discussed about dicot. So in case of monocot, can you see that this layer is there? The outermost layer is the seed coat and fruit wall. They are fused, they are not separated. All right, and inner to the seed wall and fruit wall, one block like layer is present. I am changing the color, let me make it green. So this block like layer which is present, the column like layer, this is rich in protein and it is called as alluron layer. All right, and the entire structure inside it is filled with endosperm or the food for the baby plant. Now in case of monocot, the cotyledon, the first embryonic leaf, is having a name which is called as scutellum. All right, and the plant is there enclosed here here radicle is there. It is further having a sheet, a protective covering, which is called coleorhiza, and then plumule is there. Plumule will give rise to plant. It is further having a protective covering, which is the coleoptile. Alright, then your endosperm is there. This is a simple structure of maize, the bhutta which you eat in day-to-day life. Okay, so here embryo is visible, and around embryo the endosperm to derive the nutrition. Next, second last topic of the chapter is hypogeal and epigeal germination. What do you understand by epigeal and hypogeal germination? Hypogeal germination basically means the germination of seed is happening below the ground. Hypo means below, geal means ground. So below the ground it is germinating. Now why will it germinate below ground? Because the plumule, which is called as epicotyle, the structure above is called as epicotyle. The structure which forms the root system is called as hypocotyle, just like plumule and radicle. Okay, so epicotyle, if it is growing at a faster rate, then it will tend to push this particular seed below the ground. So epicotyle is growing at a very faster rate as compared to the hypocotyle, so it leads to hypogeal germination. But in this case, you can observe what happens in epigeal germination. The seed is germinating above the ground. Here you can see the cotyledons are moving up. Why will it move up? Because the hypocotyle, the part of the seed which has to go below ground, is growing at a faster rate as compared to the epigotyle. So that is why these cotyledons are pulled above the ground. Okay, here they are pushed below the ground, here they are pulled above the ground, because if the structure which is hypocotyle is growing at a faster rate than epicotyle, naturally it will push the cotyledons above. But if I'm putting some weight on something, on a book or on a paper, then what will happen? Definitely the things will be pushed below. So if epicotyle is growing faster, the seeds are pushed below the ground. If the cotyledons are pushed below the ground, if it is growing at a lower rate, then what will happen? They are pushed above the ground. Alright, so these are some of the differences between bean seed and maize seed. You can observe bean seed is a dicot, maize seed is a monocot. That means one cotyledon, dicot means two cotyledon. Bean seed is X-albuminous. What do you mean by X-albuminous? That the endosperm has been exhausted or endosperm has been used up. See, here you cannot observe endosperm separately. Like here you can, I told you that this the yellow portion of the maize, the bhutta which you eat, is the endosperm. So endosperm is persistent in case of maize. Alright, small embryo is present in maize, here large, here hilum and micropyle are visible, and in maize seed hilum and micropyle are not visible, and in fact the outermost layer, seed coat and fruit wall, are fused. Alright, but here you can see that double layered seed coat was present. So last topic of the day is conditions for germination. Now, in order for plant to germinate, if the condition should be optimum. Optimum means that the condition should, the temperature, air and light, water, all these are requirements for germination of a plant, and none of the requirements should be above than a prescribed or a normal optimum temperature. So a very high temperature or very low temperature is also very harmful. So everything should be in a medium range, that we call as optimum range. So water should be optimum, air should be optimum, temperature should be optimum, and light should be optimum. But the germination is best observed at a temperature which is 35 to 40 degree Celsius. Alright, so this was all about your chapter 2, the flower, and I've tried to cover it within 35 minutes, 40 minutes briefly, so that you can quickly revise it just before your semester examinations. So all the best, and keep learning and keep growing. Okay, thank you.